Well, hello, and welcome to Reginaldesq. I'm Underhook, and this is my review of the Tier 6 American self-propelled gun, the M44. So, is it any good? Yes, it is very good. In fact, I'd go so far as to say this is an awesome artillery piece. Very, very good. Why is it so good? Well, first let me tell you about how good it is. This SPG, you can decide the outcome of a game in this artillery piece. So sometimes, if you've got a really slow tank, it might be a good tank, but, if your team's losing, there's not much you can do because you don't have armor or whatever it is. This particular thing, you can just bombard a flank because you think, the enemy looks strong on that flank. And then, we're starting to lose on their flank, just switch over, bombard that flank, and your team will win that flank. It's that kind of a tank. You can really decide the outcome of battles in this tank. To give you an illustration of that, my win rate is at the moment about 51 point something %. I don't have a great win rate, partly because I just grind tanks from the scratch, like a lot of average players do, which is why this channel is set up for average players, because I do it the same way a lot of you do. And I don't spend any money on free XP or do any of that stuff. So that affects your win rate. But my win rate in this tank is 64%. And I cannot see that it would go down. It's not like it's luck or anything. It's just because the tank is so good. There are people out there that I have had a look at their stats because I've played them. They've been in M44s and I've been checking out the stats. There are people out there who play thousands and thousands of games just in this, because it's so good. My damage ratio in this is 5.43, which is the second best damage ratio I have in an SPG, and my destruction ratio is 2, which is the best destruction ratio I have in an SPG. So that gives you a bit of an idea. This thing is really, really good. My first game in this, I did 1500 damage with a 90% crew. So it's pretty good. Now, why is it so good? I'm not really sure. The gun is in some ways very similar to the gun on the previous tank, the M41. It's a 155mm, which is the same as it was previously, has 550 average damage, which is exactly the same, and has 39mm of penetration. Previously it had 38, so it's only 1mm more. But this gun reloads more quickly, so we're getting more shots out there. It's 3.02, and I think it was about 2 point something, 2.5 or 2.6 on the previous tank. So we're getting a shell out there around about every 20 seconds instead of every 25 seconds. That's a pretty big difference. The aiming time is great. 4.9, it was 7 point something. And the dispersion has come from 0.82 to 0.72, which is a lot better as well. I didn't find so much that I'm actually hitting tanks more in this, but I'm definitely getting more shots out there. I'm definitely splashing tanks more. So hitting multiple tanks at once, and this really does feel like the stated 7 meter splash radius. But the previous gun supposedly had a 7 meter splash radius as well. But I feel like I'm getting a lot more splash damage in this SPG. So I'm wondering whether either this has too much splash, or the previous tank 7 meters quoted as 7 meters was incorrect and it was more like 4 meters, because that's kind of how it felt. Really quite a good ratio with the splash damage. Now, the damage you do to each tank though isn't very high. In fact, most of the damage is low, considering we've got the same damage and only 1mm penetration, but we're a tier higher. When we hit armored vehicles, sometimes it just goes ding and you don't do any damage at all. It's definitely better on heavily armored tanks to hit the tanks next to the tanks rather than land on their turret or frontal armor. But if you can hit them on the back deck, that's worth it. But usually you want to land next to them, not on top of them, if you've got a shot at the front of their tank. So it's just, I guess, it's getting more shots out there and more splash. The gun arc is pretty good. I think that might actually be slightly better than the previous tank as well, which will help a lot. It's not sensational gun arc, but it's pretty good, and I didn't really have an issue with it. Now, my crew is fully trained in the gameplay that you're going to see, but they currently have Brothers in Arms. They didn't have Brothers in Arms in the games that I'm going to show you, so just bear that in mind. I have a gun rammer fitted to speed up the obviously the loading, so we get more shells off, and I have gun laying drive fitted as well to speed up the aiming time, and I have a camouflage net just in case. So with Brothers in Arms and all that gear on the tank, the aiming time is down to 4.18, which is sensational, just incredible for an SPG to aim that quickly. Accuracy is down to 0.68, and the shells, a reload is down to, was it 16.79 seconds or 3.57 rate of fire, so that's really good. So all of these things combined go together to make this thing great. As well as that, this thing's pretty quick. It does, what does it say the speed here? Top speed 56 kilometers an hour, and it will go that quick if you give it enough room. So it's pretty good. Alright, so we've got the tanks comparison here. Obviously we've got the M44 on the left here. I've put the FV304 right over on the right here because it's quite a different piece of artillery. I won't really compare it much. It's a close range, really high arc artillery piece. I did drive this one, and I think the tank's changed a lot since last time I drove it, but you've got to be within 500 meters, and you can shoot over buildings and do all sorts of stuff with it. But it's a very different, very low damage, low penetration, very high rate of fire, high gun arc, but you're close to the enemy, so it's also very quick because you've got to be able to move around a lot. So it's a bit different to the others. But anyway, our DPM 1600 and something compares quite well with these other two, and a little bit less than the SU8. I'm not, as I said, I'm not going to pair it with the FV304 because it's quite a different thing. Penetration's about the same on all of them. Damage of 550 is lower than the others. Why is that? Well, we get a better rate of fire, 19.9 versus 31 to reload on these two, and 20, fairly similar on the SU8. So, like I said, I'm not going to compare it with the FV304 because it's a completely different proposition. The radius, 7 meter splash radius, 8 on the AMX, and the other guys have 7.5. So yeah, not too bad. We're probably a bit low, but it seems to work really well. Shell velocity of 430 is nice and slow, which hopefully helps us get a good gun arc, I should say. Ammo capacity has plenty of ammo. Aim time 4.9 is the best, except for the FV304, which I'm not going to say, it's a different kettle of fish. So you can see here quite a bit better aim time, which is great. Dispersion 0.72 is kind of average compared to the others. The gun depression of 5 degrees is the best, and much better than AMX 1353. So I would suggest that AMX, it's almost impossible to defend yourself against scout tanks. Now that is actually fairly important because almost every game, if you get killed, it's nearly always by scout tanks. So it is kind of good to be able to defend yourself against them. Gun traverse is 30 degrees, which is really, really good. And it's the best of any, so that's the amount of time you can just move your gun without moving your tracks to aim, which means you lose less of your already aimed in time when you move your gun, which is a great benefit. But it is a very slow moving gun though. I can't see the speed of the gun traverse just here. Turret traverse 0.36. No, the others are slow as well, but anyway, there you go. Forward speed of 56 is only beaten by the AMX, and that's actually a realistic speed. This thing on a flat road will do 56. Takes a while to get there, but this is pretty quick and quite maneuverable. Not so good in reverse, but in forward it's really good, and it allows you to get into good positions. You're not going to get caught out like getting to a position. It's really, really good. I'm not going to go into terrain resistances because it's only an SPG. Has the worst armor of the bunch. So yeah, armor's terrible. Doesn't really matter though. 280 hit points is kind of average, and that's about all we need to say about it. Terrible view range, but they've all got terrible view range and a very good radio range. Okay. Tank destroyer mode engaged. I have no fear. This is not an artillery match. It's a tank destroyer game. Na 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 na, missed me. Ram! 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 Oh yeah. Hope you enjoyed that little bit of TD action. That's pretty funny. So this is, the map is Corellia. Yep. And it's a tier 8 game, so you can see there that the enemy has 3 tier 8s and we're a tier 6, so we're bottom tier. It's kind of good to be bottom tier in this tank because obviously it makes no difference to your armor or anything. But you tend to get higher XP, of course, against higher tier tanks, so it doesn't seem to matter what tier you're up against. This is an assault game, so we're defending and the other team has to attack, which is a dream for artillery. I think it is anyway. It just means that the enemy have to keep exposing themselves, and yeah, it just makes it really easy. Because the other thing is too, it's really hard for enemy scout tanks to break through the rear lines and kill you early on when you're in a defense game where everyone's trying to defend the cap. So it's like everyone's trying to defend you, so it makes it a lot easier as an artillery piece. So an T-44 has been spotted, so let's see what we can do here. Can we get a shot off? One good thing about this artillery piece as well is that you tend to, because it has such a good rate of fire, I tend to feel free to just let a shell go. Whereas in something that had a really long rate of fire, I think, oh, I can't see that person anymore, they might not be there, or they're moving, I'm not going to risk firing that and then waiting another 30 seconds to have a shot, or 40 seconds, or whatever it is. So the fact that this reloads, you know, in under 20 seconds, if you cruise 100%, you've got, you know, gun rammer and stuff, that really, you think, oh, well, I'll just let the shell go, even if I just think there's someone there. So it's kind of good like that. Oh, a smorgasbord. So we're aiming in. Want to aim a little bit behind because he's probably going to move back. Let the shell go. Okay, so 124 damage there. I'm not sure if it was a direct hit or not. It might have been splash damage, but not a lot of damage as you see, but it definitely hits. Now we might splash 2 here. We'll see how we go. Let the shell go. We've just got the front one. Must have hit him right in the side of the turret, that T-25, and did 500 and something damage to him. So that was a full penetration, which you don't get very often. So we were pretty lucky then. He would be spewing. See if we can make it over this little rock here and hit this guy. So went over, we splashed him. Didn't do any actual damage though. So as you can see, I'm aiming just past the tank. That's because I want to either land on top of them. Oh, we landed on top of him. He's destroyed. So if I aim at the tank, and then the tank moves after I fire, then I'm aiming at a point that's higher than the ground they were on, if that makes sense, because I'm aiming at their tank. So that means if they move, my shell will actually land a fair bit further back than where I aimed, because I was aiming higher than the ground, if that makes sense. So if you aim at the ground just past them, you're more likely to hit them even if they move after you fire. But in that case, I aimed in front because he was moving forward. So anyway, the shell didn't go where we aimed. But so as you can see by now, really good rate of fire, and aim time is really good. And that big gun traverse kind of helps that we don't lose too much aim when we're just moving the gun around. Unfortunately, he went forward, but we still splashed him. As far as still stunned him, I mean, no damage, but. Of course, stunning is only good if somebody else damages them whilst they're stunned. Otherwise, it's of no use. I just let a shell go there. Who knows? We may have done some damage with that shot. But because the reload is so quick, it's just not an issue. Oh, my aim went wonky there. I must have had to move my tracks. I decided not to shoot in that spot there because there's some tanks visible on the map here. Oh, that SU-152 looks like he's not going to move. And I'm completely wrong, he does move. See if we can get another shot into him. So the game's actually pretty even at the moment. But they are under the pump. They've only got 5.5 minutes now to either destroy us or cap and win. So that is the thing with this game, mate. I reckon it's hard for the attackers because if the defending team is half decent, if the time is short, you're basically forced to attack. It is my understanding... Oh, that was a direct hit. It's my understanding from watching people like Quickie Baby that a lot of players with high win rates don't play this game mode. They take it off their rotation because of that reason. There's just... you're kind of forced into doing things. I was hoping something would pop up there, but it hasn't. So we'll go back here. There's tanks spotted, so... he's behind a rock. Is this guy going to come up? No. Oh, gee, we had a shot there. I didn't realise. Darn it. Is he going to come back? No. Now we're actually losing. I think we've got less tanks than the opposition, so that's not good. But the time is ticking away. They only have 4 minutes now. I was hoping this sort of rain might spot someone. Here we go. Chinese tank destroyer, I think it is. So I do often mark when I'm going to shoot something. So if somebody is spotting it, they know that it's worth continuing to spot it because someone's going to shoot at it. And also, especially in the late game, I always mark that I'm going to shoot so that other tanks just don't drive up and ram it while I'm trying to shoot it. They still do, but anyway. I thought he was going to move back there. We splashed him, but he's got nowhere to go, so I can pretty much just keep hitting this spot. Oh no, he is going to do a runner. I probably didn't give that enough lead, because at downhill he was probably moving pretty quick. But you never know, we might have got some damage there. 3 minutes to go, so they have to start coming in now and really exposing themselves. I just fire there in case there's somebody up there trying to do some spotting. It's the kind of thing you can do in this SPG with a quicker reload. Taking over this bush now as well. Maybe that SU-152 is back up here somewhere, hiding behind that bush. It's all quiet on the Western Front. 2.5 minutes, and they're looks like they're maybe not going to try and win. It looks like maybe they're just going to say, I'll just stay alive. I don't see the point in that myself, but... Oh, here we go. No, can't get there. Alright, this T-44 poked out once, he might poke out again, so... There's not many other targets to choose from, so wait and see if he does it again. We have a target up here. Oh yeah, we should be able to splash this guy and get my gun over here quickly enough. So you can see the gun arc is pretty good. Unfortunately, we didn't get over that rock, but there's an SU-152 on the screen there. Can we hit him? No, he's behind a rock as well. I get confused now about which rock this tank was behind. It must be this one. Yeah, there he is. I let it go. I think he looks like he's about to come forward, and He was. You just have to guess sometimes when you see the way people move and think, yeah, he's going to come out. Just take a guess and then shoot. Sometimes you don't get it right, of course. Well, probably most of the time, really, but sometimes you're lucky. Oh! A very lightly armoured Swedish tank destroyer, and we nearly killed him with one shot. If you watched my review of that tank destroyer, I didn't like it, and that is one of the reasons why. If artillery even sniffs you, you're pretty much dead. I was just hoping we could maybe splash him to death there, but we can't quite get to him. Only 40 seconds left in the game now. And I can't get those guys, they're a bit too close to me. Can we splash here and kill this guy? Will it do enough splash damage? Yes, it will. Bye-bye. Now I can't hit this guy. Can I? Maybe I can hit him. Nah, see the dots aren't there. I haven't got a dot. So I can't hit him where he is. So it's time to go. Tank destroyer mode engaged. Nothing to lose. We're going to win the game anyway. Or are we? Oh no! I'm one of only 2 tanks left. He's aimed at me. He's missed. I didn't realise there was only 2 of us left. We made it. Whoops. Okay, well, I nearly cost us the game there. I didn't realise there was only myself and the ISM left, or I probably wouldn't have gone TD mode there at the end. I was just doing it for fun and, you know, hey, we can't lose anyway. But, yeah, it was pretty close. But anyway, it worked off. That guy missed me and I managed to TD him, so it was good. Now, really surprising, we only got a Class 2 for that game, which I'm kind of flabbergasted. Because it was a Tier 8 game. We're in a Tier 6 tank. We got the, I think this is called the Gauze medal. Anyway, it's the medal you get for doing 8 times your tank's hit points in damage in an SPG. So we did a lot of damage. And it was a Class 2. I don't know what happened with that. Anyway, and it was a victory, so I don't know. So we finished on top for our team at least with 913 XP, 2,273 damage. 24 shots fired, which is a testament to how fast this thing fires. Direct hits was 7, which is really good. That's a little bit unusual, but hey, I'm showing you the game. Of course, it's a little bit unusual. Splash damage of 8, which is kind of normal in this tank to get lots of splash damage. 2,273 damage, as we said. And 8 destroyed, so 8 damage for 4 tanks destroyed. Now, stun damage was 444, so maybe... Yeah, I think you need to do a lot of stun damage to get good XP in the artillery, and I think that's probably what cost me. And I have never got Master in this tank, so I don't know what you have to do. Probably just do a lot of stunning, I guess. Anyway, that's that. Thank you for watching my review of the M44. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe to Reginaldesq. Have fun!